All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's talk about the biggest dog shit warbond slash patch that Arrowhead has probably ever released, and that's saying a lot. These people are so unbelievably incompetent. They are so unbelievably stupid. They make Somalians look like Socrates. I can't even believe how easy it is to make this game fun, and these people just constantly trip over their own feet and get in their own way. So let's get right into it. Patch highlights: 2 new biomes, one new enemy variant. Yeah, it's a reskinned Bile Titan that doesn't kill you; it just ragdolls you, because that's what we want. We want to be ragdolled more. That's awesome. Major exosuit rebalance. Not really. This is extremely misleading. Enemy rebalances, aka they literally made every enemy in the game stronger. So that feels really good. Sidearm and stratagem rebalances. Yeah, sidearms, they basically just touched the melee weapons. They went from 5% usage of stamina down to 3%. But cool, you buffed things that nobody uses, and you buffed them in a way that is still going to lead to nobody using them. So congratulations. And then several known issues resolved. So resolved known issues here. Really the only one is the flesh mobs no longer are able to clip through various objects when charging. Spoiler alert, they still do. Aww. Also, spoiler alert, the performance of the game is trash. This is why I'm on my computer right now, even though I play on PS5. I got in and I was having frame rate issues and audio issues, and I don't want to blow up my PlayStation 5. If you were watching Thick Fillet's stream earlier, he had 1,600 people watching him. He got 10 minutes into his first mission and his PC hardlocked and crashed. So awesome job, Arrowhead. And just remember, guys, these people aren't coming back until June. They're going on vacation. And we got this patch at the end of April, so the June patch very well could come at the end of June. So, because, apparently Swedish people, the Swedes, they can't work more than 2 months without having to take a month off because they're a bunch of fucking gaylords. So, yeah, unless they do an emergency patch within the next week, this is how broken the game's going to be for at least the next 2 months. So just remember that. Balancing, general changes. Okay, so exosuits. Increased main health pool from 850 to 1600. Now this looks good on paper, but then when you realize that they increased how much durable damage every single enemy does, basically from the bottom up, these things feel marginally better. I will say overall it is probably a net positive, but like, they just keep shoving numbers around. They just keep shuffling numbers around. Oh, we're going to buff the mechs, but we can't buff them too much. So then we have to buff all the enemies and how much damage they do. Well, how about instead of going from 850 to 1600, maybe you go from like 850 to 1200, and then you don't have to make all the enemies do more damage to them. It just kind of feels stupid that you just keep raising the base of what everything does. It just seems so stupid. Like you're literally just making more work for yourself by like, oh, well, we changed this one thing, so therefore we need to change 47 other things. No, you don't. The exosuit will only die if the main health pool is depleted. This is objectively a good change. Increase vulnerability to acid attacks by 50%. Now it's weird because if you actually look at the patch notes, the video, they show a clip of the mech walking through a gas cloud.
We also made it more vulnerable, though, for acid attacks.
Yeah, because acid doesn't do that much otherwise.
So it's more of balancing out the damage.
Which is clearly not acid. And they said acid attacks. So gas, I don't think is acid. It's gas, and it's not an attack. So it's weird. So the people making the video either screwed up, or this thing actually does also get damaged by gas, which is kind of shitty and kind of stupid. So I guess we'll see. Fixed so parts of the cockpit health zones are not blocked by the ragdoll actor. Now the cockpit zones will be damageable in the right way. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Increased exosuit arms from 350 to 600. So this is not a change. They literally just moved numbers around. So the base health was 350, but the Constitution, which is a second health pool, which I didn't understand until like today, that's a second health pool. And the Constitution was 250. Well, they took the Constitution health from 250 down to 0, and then they moved this from 350 up to 600. So the exosuit arm health is 0% different. They just took, instead of 2 medium-sized health pools, they just now have 1 larger health pool. It's the exact same though. So that's fucking retarded and also misleading. Exosuit arms now also have a 50% explosion resistance. Again, objectively better, but if every enemy is doing more durable damage, and if that explosive damage is tied to that durable damage, then this might not be that big of a deal. Removed Constitution and Bleed Out. Yeah. So this is what I'm talking about. They removed the Constitution, which was 250, and they basically just took that and added it to this. So it's very misleading. I wish they were to go into that and explain that, because one, I'd probably say 98% of people don't know what that means. And they also I guess, are not going to assume that, oh, they removed it and added it here, right? So exosuits no longer lose all mobility when both legs are broken. Okay, that's good. Can now be staggered. Okay, I guess. Like, just another thing, though, that it's a nerf to the mechs. And they say, well, the mechs should have been nerfed since day one, but there was a bug, and so they weren't getting staggered. It's like, okay, but now they are getting staggered, so it's a nerf. Like, again, it took you 2.5 years to fix this bug, but then you fix it when you release 2 mechs, which now makes the mechs feel more shitty. Awesome job. Great timing. Great fucking timing. Remove both health zones that do not affect the main health and are mainly visual effects. Okay. Enemy damage against vehicles. We think automatons and illuminates do damage reasonably well against the vehicles, especially now with the changes to the exosuits. That's some fucking bullshit, because we're going to get into the enemy changes, and they buff the durable damage of 50% of all the automatons, and they buff the durable damage of the flesh mobs as well. So go fuck yourself, Arrowhead. You're literally lying to us. You liar! Gas effects that now also slows enemies with 25% when they are confused by the gas. Okay, that's good change. Sidearm weapons, again, the really only thing that got a true buff was the stun baton. Increased stamina from 5 to 3, or decreased, I should say, increased damage from 75 to 100, increased durable damage from 38 to 60. These are sizable, and then the rest is just 5 to 3. I mean, it's barely any noticeable. Decreased stamina cost from 5% to 4%. Is anyone really going to notice that? I mean, probably not. CQC 9 defoliation tool, increased and moved damage hitbox to make it easier to hit the enemy. I will say overall, it felt easier, but it still felt wonky. There were still times where I felt like I was just warping through enemies at certain times. So it's not 100%. I would say it's better, but like it went from a D to maybe like a B minus, but it's still not good. Longer window for when damage hitbox is active. Again, I don't know if I really noticed that. Armor penetration increases twice as fast. That's good. Moves slower when it does damage to an enemy. That seems like a nerf. Again, I don't really know. And then decreased stamina cost from 10 to 5. So that's good. One shoe flag. Again, who the fuck cares? Ballistic shield backpack, increased health from 600 to 1,000. But again, every enemy is doing more durable damage. So like, is this truly a 400% like HP increase? Or is it really only maybe like 150 points of HP increase because the durable damage is increased by every enemy? The spear, increased amount of missiles from 3 to 4. Okay, like this wasn't really the issue. I mean, yes, taking one more, missile is good, but like it still has targeting issues and it still feels clunky. My idea for this was to make it a disposable, or an expendable, I should say. I think that would clear up a lot of the issues. Adding one rocket, again, it's not bad, but I don't think this is going to go from now like a 3% pick rate to a 40% pick rate. Like I doubt it's even going to go to a 10% pick rate. This is like the only thing that has a substantial buff and the only thing that actually feels good in the game. So increased range from 20 to 34 meters. That's very good. Increased damage by 50% and increased how fast it panics enemies. So when I was doing rebalancing, I said this should shoot, it should be 100% fire resistant. They should double the health of it, and then it should shoot twice as far. So it's shooting almost twice as far. They increase the damage by 50%, and then it now slows enemies. So this is objectively good. Like this feels really good now, and especially on the cooldown that it's on, it definitely feels good. I still feel like the only faction that this is good against is the bugs. The bots can just shoot this from a mile away. The Illuminate, all the Overseers can just shoot this from beyond its range. So outside of the bugs, this still feels pretty crappy, but against the bugs, this feels substantially better. The Laser Sentry, I did not try this, increased heat capacity by 25%. I mean, it's good. I think they needed to increase the time of which it shot by like 10 or 15 seconds. I don't think this is that. It might be like an additional like 5 to 7, which is going in the right direction, but it's still not what it needs. Sterilizer updated gas spray VFX. So this was the only gas item in the game that didn't create a cloud, which made 0 sense because the spear made more of a gas cloud than this. And this just shoots gas for it's like, that's what it does. It shoots gas and it does last longer. Gas lingers for longer and has longer range. So I did notice that you were maybe able to shoot like maybe another 5 meters longer. I don't know exactly, but the gas, it didn't last like at all before. So when they say it lingers for longer, it literally, guys, you can test it out right now. It literally lasts for like 2 seconds longer. It goes from 0 seconds to like 2, maybe 3 seconds. Again, I think this thing should create a cloud. I mean, the spear, you shoot that, the cloud of gas lasts for, like between 5 and 10 seconds. This thing, which only shoots gas, that's its main purpose, the gas only lasts for 2, maybe 3 seconds. So this still needs a lot of work. Terminids, Bile Titan, the spew explosions are smaller to match visuals. Yeah, so this is overall better because, yeah, sometimes if you guys noticed, you would appear to be outside of its stream, but you would still take damage. That never felt good. Hive Guard, objectively the biggest L of this war bond, increased the armor from 3 to 4. So now this Hive Guard has more armor, has a higher armor pen than our fucking Bastion tank. Let that sink in, guys. Let that sink in. From the studio that constantly talks about mil-sim realism and things like that. Think about that. Think about how a Hive Guard now has more armor pen or higher armor pen than our Bastion tank. How is this immersive gameplay? How am I supposed to get immersed when I know that my 50,000 pound tank has a lower armor rating than one of the most useless enemies in the game? Let that sink in, boys. Decreased armor on the body and claws from light to unarmored. I think this is the only thing that it needed to change. Keep it at medium and then take this from 2 to 1. That way it's going to make the light armor weapons feel a lot better. Now it's like, because Arrowhead in my eyes, they're like, oh, well, a lot of people are saying medium armor pen is just better. So let's make this heavy armor pen. So medium armor pen feels bad, but it still just makes light armor pen feel bad too. Whereas if they kept it at medium, but took this from 2 to 1 and then made this 500 to 375, it would make the light armor just feel better. Now, both the light and medium armor just feel worse. And it is essentially now making your Gatling Sentry and your Machine Gun Sentry feel like absolute doo-doo butter against the bugs. Because if they focus on a Hive Guard, they just get surrounded by everything else. And now that they buffed the durable damage to every other enemy in the game, but they did not revert the changes to the sentries, they didn't make the sentries any more durable, they quite literally get 3-shot by a warrior. A warrior hit my Gatling Sentry 3 times and it was dead. as my Gatling Sentry was hyper-focused on a Hive Guard that it can no longer kill. So, yeah, sentries are dead in this game. They feel like crap, especially the Gatling Sentry and the Machine Gun Sentry. Those feel awful against the bugs now. So, have fun with that, boys, because it feels like absolute fucking dog shit. Bile Spewers increase durable damage. Yep, so here's all the durable damage. But you know how Pilestead in his recent AMA, Ask Me Anything, was like, yay, we're going to be more thorough and more straightforward and transparent in the patch notes. Okay, fucking Pilestead, how is this transparent? How is this giving us specific? Increased durable damage on melee attack. Okay, by 1%, by 5%, by 90%? What the fuck are we talking about here?
Nobody knows.
Increased durable damage. By how much? Durable damage. How much? Scavengers, Hunters, all warrior variants. Charger, Hive Lord. Yeah, as if the Hive Lord needed to be more powerful. Let's give it more durable damage.
Oh, come on!
The fuck these guys are thinking, dude. They're a bunch of fucking retards. Dragon Roach, increased durable damage. Again, do we know? What's the durable damage? I mean, the data miners will find out in a week or two, but why can't you tell us? This tells me it's probably numbers that they don't want to share. They obviously know how much they increase the durable damage, but they don't want to share it with the class because then the class is going to revolt. Dragon Roach, increased Impaler, increased Stagger Force needed from 45 to 50. Cool. Slight increase in durable damage. Cool. Automatons, here we go. Increased durable damage of the melee attacks. Small arms fire from raiders, turrets, devastators, slight increase in durable damage. Again, what does this mean, Arrowhead? What could this mean? Is it 1%? Is it 2%? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Is it 70%? Fucking tell us. Berserkers, increased durable damage. Devastators, increased durable damage. Heavy Devastators. Yeah, finally. Well, of course, the Heavy Devastators have had an unobtainium shield, right? What is Wolverine made out of? Okay, it was stronger than that. Okay, and adamantium, right? Isn't it adamantium? Yeah, it was Infinity Adamantium, and now that they released the new mech, they had to lower the armor value, right? But guess what, guys? The new Berserker, Breakthrough. Oh, here we go. The Breakthrough Shield. Yep. Medium Armor Pen. Main health 5,000, which is nothing. And Medium Armor Pen 3. Wow. So even though our mechs are 3 times bigger than a Devastator and our shield is 2 to 3 times bigger than their shield, it still has less armor penetration. So, and by the way, boys, that shield is absolute dog shit. I had my shield, it was at 99%, and I took 1 shot from the cannon on a Factory Strider, and not only did it destroy my shield that was at 99%, it one-shotted me as well. So the laser went through my shield, destroyed it, and then destroyed my mech. So a 5,000 health, it feels broken. It feels broken because I know those cannons do not do 5,000 plus the main pool of my mech is what now, 1,600? There's no way that it did 6,600 damage, but guess what? It shot through. It shot through the shield and then it insta-killed my mech. And then I was playing another time and a full barrage from a Rocket Devastator destroyed my shield. Full barrage from one barrage from a Rocket Devastator destroyed my shield. So the Berserker, I keep saying Berserker, the Breakthrough Exosuit, dog shit. Absolute dog shit. Okay, so Rocket Devastator, decreased stagger strength on rocket projectiles. Okay. Hulk, increased durable damage. So everything is just getting, a buff. The leg, hip joints, decreased armor, heavy armor pen from 4 to 3. This still doesn't feel very good. They still need to do more with this because this still doesn't feel great. It really doesn't. all tanks, main body. So the tanks got massive, massive buffs, which I'm actually a fan of the tanks. I like them, but I think these buffs are probably too much. Increased main health pool from 3,000 to 4,000, so you can no longer one-shot this with a recoilless rifle. Increased health on back vents from 750 to 1,500. Increased armor on back vents from medium to heavy. Remove track damage zone when the zone is dead. Remove damage to cap to carry. Removed damage cap to carry through from tracks to main health. Reduced durable resistance on tracks from 1.0 to 0.8. I mean, the tanks just feel unbelievably tanky now, which some might argue is a good thing. I don't know. Like, I thought they were fine before, but now that it takes 2 recoilless rifles to hit to blow up a tank, that just doesn't really feel very good. Shredder tank turret reduced turn speed. That's a good change. The Barrager tank turret increased health on weak spot on front and back from 7, so doubled. Yeah, flesh mobs increased durable damage. Yep, we already talked about that. The Tesla tower on the Illuminate lower destruction strength needed from 30 to 20, and then added health function with 200 health and armor 2. Yeah, so this feels better. They're easier to kill. Yeah, and then we can go into that. So then if we go into the what the Warbond offered, so if we go to the Firestorm, this was Armor Pen 3. This was a medium Armor Pen machine gun. And now, as you can see, it's light armor pen. So it still has the 300 rounds that it did in HD1, but in HD1 it was AP3. This is now AP2. And so I think this is just a shittier Stalwart. Stalwart magazines, you get 250 in each. So this has 50 more rounds. It does have a faster fire rate, has 50 more rounds. The damage is slightly more. The Stalwart is 90. This is 100. And the durable for the Stalwart is 22. This is 25. So it is better in that way. But like if I bring the Stalwart, I'm getting 1,000 rounds before I even have to reload. And if I have a supply backpack, I essentially have unlimited ammo. Okay. This has 600 rounds. But the problem though is you call it down, you grab one, okay, let's say you fire off 300 rounds really quick, but if you want the other 300 rounds, you have to stick around in that area, which doesn't feel good. I could have the Stalwart and I could be halfway across the map by the time I shoot 600 rounds. I could be on the move. This, you basically have to stick around to get the full 600. So in my opinion, this is just a worse version of the Stalwart, and it's like, who the fuck asked for this? Nobody. Then we go to the P33, the pistol. Okay, so it does 1,000 projectile, 300 explosion. It says it's anti-tank, but it's, so the projectile is anti-tank, the explosion is medium. So I don't know. This thing only feels okay. It feels terrible against the Bile Titans. You have to use you only get 3 rounds, and it's like you have to use 5 against the Bile Titans. I think you have to use 2 against the Chargers. You can hit a Charger in the ass with 1, but from the front it takes 2. So I don't know. I mean, it's just it's a weaker ultimatum with one more round of ammo, right? So it's I don't know. And then the new armor sets, I think are bugged because they don't feel any faster, and the enemies felt much faster this time around. But I don't know if they purposely made the enemies faster and then gave us an armor to make us faster too. Again, they're creating problems and then selling us solutions, which I fucking despise. But that's Arrowhead. So that, I think, covers it. I am not a fan of this patch at all. I think this patch is dog shit, especially considering that we might not get anything fixed for months at this point, since they're taking May off, and we might not get anything till the end of June. Again, because they're a bunch of gay lords that can't work more than 5 days in a row. And I think the Warbond is trash. I think the mechs feel weak. that Bullet Storm could have been cool, but they made it light armor pen. Just, I don't know. The armor feels like crap. Just everything is so fucking bad. So that's the end of my rant. If you stuck around, kudos. Like, I'll buy you a fucking beer that you had to deal with my bullshit this whole time. But yeah, let's comment down below. I'll see you on the next one.